Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. A little chilly out this morning. Probably should have put a long sleeve on, but oh well. It's good to put your body through a little stress sometimes. Get used to the weather, the changing the temperatures. Make it tough. Don't do everything the easiest way possible. Sometimes purposely do things the hard way. It's not gonna hurt you in the long run. So with all this stuff that's going on around the world that has everyone distracted, and a lot of it's very legitimate things to be, focused on, don't forget that we have our own problems here in the United States. And the biggest one, in my personal opinion, that we're faced with, at least in the immediate, is the immigration problem. We have, and I'm not talking about people coming here because legally, of course, we're talking about all the people pouring across the border. It is being leaked, rumored, spoken of, whatever, I don't know, that the Biden administration wants to give 5.7 million illegals all kinds of benefits. Health care, child care, welfare, food stamps, housing, all of it. 5.7 million. That's interesting. How many Americans right now are really struggling? I'm not saying that all those Americans should be put on some kind of welfare program, but how many of them, how many of you are really struggling right now? I mean, we certainly feel it. And yet we're going to be giving billions of dollars. I mean, I don't know how much. I haven't seen a number yet. But billions of dollars, I would assume, tens of billions, to people that have come into this country criminally. He also, or at least the Biden administration, has recently told banks that you can't deny someone a loan simply because they're illegal. So if they come to you and they're trying to buy a house, and you find out, well, they came into this country illegally, you still have to loan them the money if they're qualified in other ways. How many Americans right now are trying to get qualified for a loan, and it's tough? It's tough to get qualified for a loan, and yet, I mean, just I'm trying to wrap my head around this one, because how does one that is here illegally even qualify? I mean, for a loan, you don't have a social security number. You shouldn't be having a job, because if you're illegally, you're getting paid under the table. So how does that even work? I mean, anytime I've tried to get a loan or have gotten a loan, it's like they want, your DNA sample and a promissory note of your firstborn child and all this kind of stuff. But yet, if you're illegal, you can apparently, these poor people can come into this country and get a loan. I don't understand it. The problem is that we are being flooded with people that, many of them, they're not really here to be part of the American dream. They're not part of the, being part of our society. And I know that makes me sound like a bigoted, biased, racist person. But it's true, folks. Immigration used to be something that people wanted to come here so that they could be part of the American dream and be American. I've heard so many stories, and I've heard people directly tell me this, that have immigrated here. That, their parents would tell them, we're American now. We don't speak our own language, or we're American now. We don't do that anymore. We do this because we're American. Nowadays, so many people coming here, they just have no interest in being American. And it's going to get to be like it is in Europe. In just the last several days, there's been several crimes, murders, things that's happened in Europe because of illegals doing it. And that's happening already here in America. it's just not getting played in the top tier of the news, you know. There's all kinds of crimes happening south of here, down around the border where there's a higher concentration. We're going to continue to see that happening. Europe has been allowing people, illegals and refugees, to pour in to their countries for a long time, and they have a smaller population than ours, so it's affecting them a little faster. But it's going to start happening here because, well, good gracious, we're allowing millions a year. And now they're talking about the possibility of allowing some of these refugees from Gaza, the Palestinians from Gaza, to come into this country. There's already talk about that. Wow. Jordan said they don't want them. Jordan said they're not coming here. Egypt says they don't want them. They're not going there. There's several Middle Eastern countries that have made it quite clear they don't want the Palestinians in their country. I mean, isn't that pretty bad? It's kind of their own people, supposedly, and they don't want them in their country. But America's like, oh, yeah, we'll take them. We'll take them. It'll be kind of like what you see in Dearborn, Michigan, and up around Minneapolis and places like that, where it doesn't even look like an American city anymore. Will we ever see the big World War III, the WW3? Will we ever see all of these other things that we talk about? Big, huge, cataclysmic collapses and clashes? Maybe not, at least in the sense of them happening immediately, but are we watching our nation be destroyed by just opening the floodgates and allowing anyone that wants to come here, legally or illegally, not doing anything about it? Are we destroying our nation that way? Absolutely. We absolutely are. And the more the tensions rise when it comes to race and religion and ethnicity, the more increased possibility of America seeing more bad things happen, more violence, more crime, because as these things happen and people come here, and the people that are already here, they're not siding with, at least predominantly, well, that's my former brothers and sisters in that country acting that way. We're here in America now, and we're trying to be American, and we don't associate with that. That's not what happens. They bring that mentality here, and then the next thing you know, there's violence and degradation to society. This has been this way for forever, folks. You can't take a group of people and just displace them into a different part of the world and expect everything to just be great. I mean, I know that some of you will mention this, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Look at what America did to the Native Americans, displacing millions and millions of people, and it really didn't go that well. And the only way to fix it, at least the U.S. government at that time figured, was to just kill a whole bunch of them. And it caused decades of wars and just a lot of turmoil because they displaced millions and millions of people by force. And so when that happens, where people are just coming here, we're just allowing people to pour into our country, and we're going to give them free stuff. We're not even going to, there's not even an incentive for them to become American in a sense. There's no incentive for them to change things and to kind of become part of the American society. We're just going to give you all kinds of free stuff and give you loans and homes and phones and medical and education, and next thing you'll be voting for all the lefties that gave you all this, and we have no more of a country. A nation without borders is not a nation. And Yes, there's a strong possibility that World War III could start in the Middle East. There's a strong possibility that World War III could start between China and Taiwan and us, or Russia, and all these other possibilities. But even if they don't happen, I don't know if there's... to me, I think it's just inevitable. It's like 100% chance of this country continually going downhill in a pretty rapid fashion with all of the illegals poured in at the border. And the Biden administration has been quite clear since the beginning, since before he was elected. I mean, when he first started talking about running for office, that's all he was talking about. Oh, just come here. Just pile on the trains and just come here. Just walk here. We'll let you in. We'll let you in the door. And that's exactly what's been happening. And the lies that they spew, that Biden has done more for, to close the border down, or that the border's more secure, or that people aren't really coming across the border. All of this stuff, it's absolute lies to cover for what he's doing, which is purposeful destruction of this nation. Absolute purposeful destruction. They could stop it, they could slow it down, but they don't. And we are left with, well, no more of a nation. This is a problem that is directly going to affect you. It is going to come to your doorstep. It's coming to a lot of other people's doorsteps already. And it'll eventually has a pretty good chance of coming to yours. This definitely, more so than Israel and Gaza and Russia and Ukraine and all that other. This one, much more so, is deserving of you becoming prepared and ready for what we're going to face, because it's already happening at Americans' doorsteps. It's already happening all over the country. Violence. It's already happening with social services being drained, supplies being drained. Our whole system is on the verge of collapse in a lot of ways, because it's become very difficult for the supply chain and social services to keep up, and yet you're adding millions and millions of people a year. It's too much, and that's why you need to get out of these cities, because that's where most of them congregate. It's where they're sent to, and you need to form a tribe, and you need to be self-sufficient, and you need to be prepared to live on your own. Folks, it's time to get your houses in order and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Look at this sunrise. I mean, the sun's been already up, but it's just come over that ridge just a few minutes ago. Is this not beautiful, folks? All of you folks out there saying, oh, we don't have to live out there in the sticks with you. I'm totally fine and safe in my cities. Okay, that's fine. But they don't look like this. Folks, get it ready and get in an order, because it's coming at us. Thank you all for watching. Catch you in the next video.